concept of stewardship. One of the reasons why many people cannot be trusted with so much in the kingdom is because they have what we call an ownership mentality. Now, in this kingdom, you may have heard me say it, that in this kingdom, owners are rebels. Of course, when you say owner in terms of human responsibility, you are right. But from the lens of the way God deals with men, you never see God giving men ownership. He gives men stewardship. From the garden, you may freely eat, but it is not your own. Stewardship means you are a caretaker. You are mandated to take care of it. Can I tell you, the source of high blood pressure, the source of most of these troubles you see, including preachers, now you understand what I'm saying. Most people who are depressing themselves today is because of an ownership mentality. The prodigal son had access, but he wanted ownership. Stewardship means I am trusted with this. Ownership means I want it in my name. And when you have it in your name, you are responsible for the maintenance. The prodigal son had no business with lack, provided the resources was in his father's name. But he wanted it in his name. The moment ownership came, lack came, deterioration came, until he ended up with the swine. When Jesus walked upon the earth, he never called himself owner or father. He called himself son. It is my church. It is my members. Of course, you understand what we are trying to say, right? There are people who say that to mean in terms of responsibility. So don't misunderstand what I'm saying. But ownership mentality is what has destroyed people. A man can receive nothing except it is given to him. Are we together? Now you see, the call to faithfulness is useless when you are owner. The call to faithfulness is only needed when you are steward, because there is someone who supervises and would vet and would check you. If I own something, no matter what I do with it, it shouldn't be your business. Is that true? For instance, I can decide to buy a bottle of water and pour it on my head. You have no right to say, what are you doing? Because in quote, I use my money, I bought my bottle of water, and I can even decide to tear it into two and just play around with it and throw the bottle down. But if you gave me and you said, I'm trusting you with this, there will be no misuse, because I am aware that it is not my own. I have access to it. Look at this. When a landlord gives you, when he gives you access to be a tenant in his house, the landlord, even though it is his house, he does not have a right to come and bump into that house. Is that true? However, you are forced to manage that house because you know that there are terms and agreement. And a time can come when the landlord will come to vet and say, no, you've spoiled my bulb, you've spoiled the ceiling, you've spoiled all of these things. In many tenancy agreements, when something goes wrong with the physical structure, who is responsible for it? You see that? He may charge you, but he will take responsibility to bring in electricians who fix it. I can tell you, the reason why there is a lot of recklessness in ministry is because most people believe it is my ministry. 1 Corinthians 4 verse 1 and 2. I need to bring to us a stewardship mentality. This is what will bring discipline and decorum and seriousness and accountability. 1 Corinthians 4, let's hurry up please, verse 1 and 2. It says, let a man so account of us. Do I quote it? Stewards. Okay, beautiful. We have it here. Verse 1 please. Let's go back to verse 1. It says, let a man so account of us as of the ministers of Christ and stewards of the mysteries of God. You know what a steward is? A caretaker. Verse 2, it says, moreover, it is required, if it is true that you are a steward, it is required in stewards that a man be found faithful. Say, I will be faithful. Faithful with the money God gave you, faithful with the wisdom he gave you, faithful with the beautiful voice like my dear friend here who came to sing, faithful with everything God gave you. When people are reckless and arrogant and act as if they are the God of themselves, it is because they do not know that they were given this. It was the mistake of Nebuchadnezzar until he was turned to an animal for 7 years. And when Nebuchadnezzar repented and came back, his testimony was that he acknowledged that there was a God above that rules over the affairs of men. I will tell you the reason why ministry is stressing a lot of people. They have not allowed the owner to be owner. They have not allowed the owner to be owner. The earth is the Lord's, the fullness thereof, the walls, and they that dwell therein. We are stewards. When I sent thee, lackest thou anything? Not when you went, when I sent thee. Are we understanding this now?